Welcome back to Luster. Today let's learn how to write an introduction and the overview for Academic IELTS Task 1, that is report writing. In this task, you can be given different type of images to write a report about. These images can be a bar chart, a line chart, pie chart, a table chart, a diagram, map, or a flow chart. You will be supposed to read carefully what these images represent, and you will have to interpret all the information. This image will always be accompanied with a statement that explains more about the image. This is what your task 1 question looks like. In introduction, the purpose of this paragraph is to let the examiner know that you read the question and you understood it well. And in order to do that, you should focus on 3 things. Number 1, fully address all the aspects given in the question statement. Secondly, use synonyms. This tells the examiner that you are able to express what you want to in more than one ways. Lastly, keep your writing clear and easy to understand. Now, there are different ways to write the introduction. Number 1 is to simply rewrite the given statement and change only a few words with their synonyms. Secondly, rewrite like you are telling this to a friend. Make your intro easy and short. Try to think of it like this. Assume that you watched a movie the other night, and next morning your friend asks what the movie was about, and you're supposed to tell them what the movie was about, and you're not going to spend 3.5 hours telling them each and everything about the movie story. Instead, you will summarize all the content in your own words, and then you will give them a gist of the entire movie. This is what you're going to do in your introduction. You're going to tell your examiner that, all right, I read the question and this is what I understood. In your own words, you're going to write the main points from the statement. Secondly, you're going to mention the units that were given to you in the line or the bar chart. Lastly, you should name all the categories or items that are given to you in the line or the bar chart. If you are given parameters like male or female, you should name them. If you're given years in your X or Y axis, you should name them. You should name if there are other categories that are given to you, like you should definitely name that in your introduction. Remember that the clearer your introduction is, the better your report writing will be. Quick question. What is the unit of the data presented in this graph? Don't forget to comment your answer down below. Great. Now we're going to write an introduction for this bar chart. So our given statement says, summarize the data presented in the bar chart which compares the expenditure made by consumers from various income brackets on 3 fast food items, hamburger, fish and chips, and pizza in Britain for the year 1990. Now this statement has a lot of extra words in its first sentence. Namely, the data represented in the bar chart shows can be written simply by saying the bar chart compares. Now we are going to add some synonyms. So here from the statement, when we look at expenditures, we can use expenses. Further, when we read consumers from various income brackets, we can say expenses made by high, low, and average income consumers. Right? Now we are going to make things a little bit more clearer by adding the name of the food items in our statement, that is hamburger, fish and chips, and pizza in Britain for the year 1990. That is it. It is a perfect introduction you can give for your IELTS Task 1. Moving on to the overview. This is the most important part of the IELTS report writing after introduction. This is where you talk about the most highlighting features that are given to you in the picture. For example, if you look at a picture and you noticed some points that stand out the most, like if there's a bar chart and one bar is particularly high, then it is a salient feature. You're going to say that this bar was particularly high. If there are more than 1 points like this, you should add all these in your overview. Remember, in your overview or your introduction, you do not include any numbers except for the years. No numerical data should be entered in your overview or the introduction. For example, find the main trends and differences in this line graph. Here, the main differences are the highest and the lowest points. Lowest points are namely the ones where pizza and hamburger are consumed less than fish and chips, and maximum points are the ones where hamburger is consumed more than the other two. And the trend here, as directed by the arrows, is increasing for hamburger and pizza. Based on the main differences and the trend, our sample overview looks like. Initially, both pizza and hamburger are consumed less than fish and chips. However, by the final year, hamburgers emerged as the most preferred option. If we want to add about the trend, we can add consumption of pizza and hamburgers showed an increasing trend over the given decades. Great! Now let's make some notes for another bar chart that we are going to write an overview about, just to be super clear about this. So before writing an overview, you need to take these notes of these three things: the unit for the given data, maximum and minimum, and the trend. Let's do this for this bar chart. The unit for this bar chart is pence per week per person. The maximum minimum for this bar chart are maximum in this case is the expense done by high-income people to buy hamburgers. The minimum expense is spent on pizza by low-income people. And for the trend, we can note here, highest amount of money is spent on hamburgers and all categories spend more on fast food. Putting together everything in our notes, our overview is this. Overall, rich British people spent more on junk food than the other income classes in 1990, and hamburgers became the most consumed junk food over the period. Putting together the introduction and the overview, we have made the first half of our IELTS report writing. Well done on making it this far. Now it's time for your practice task. Complete this introduction based on the line graph given to you on the screen. You can use these hint words, particularly depicts, illustrates, to, ends. I highly recommend that you try this. Let's talk about some things that you definitely should not do when you're writing an introduction and an overview. Number 1, never copy-paste the same statement given in your question in your introduction. Always change it a little. Either it can be a few words that you change, or it can be the entire sentences that you change, but you cannot copy-paste the same material as given to you in the test paper. Secondly, do not use synonyms excessively. You should not try to change each and every word from your statement for your introduction and making it unnecessarily more complicated to understand. Lastly, if you are using advanced vocabulary, make sure that you are using them correctly in correct places, because lexical resources is one of the parameters that helps you achieve good score in IELTS task 1 and 2. Says that if you are using a word correctly and in appropriate situations, only then you get good marks for lexical resources. So make sure that you are not using a word that you are not sure of when and where to use. So keep your answer simple, write in your own language. You don't have to use extremely advanced vocabulary. Be natural with your words. Write in your own writing styles. That should be enough to get you the best scores possible for you. Lastly, be precise and clear with your sentences. You should know what you're trying to say before you start writing. So take time to think about points before you even write them. Writing without thinking can lead you to a direction where that is not relevant to your topic or questions and points given to you in the question paper. So take time to analyze what is it that you want to write about. Then start writing. And just like this, you are ready with your introduction and the overview. And with that, we have come to the end of this lesson. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, you can find this in our channel. Subscribe for more content like that. And you can also watch our playlist to find out more about IELTS. Bye for now. We will see you soon.